properly.
Hello and welcome to our channel, Portugal on a Shoestring.
This is one of the outbuildings. The issue we've got with it is it's got a sunken floor. And you see there, we want to bring all of that up to a level where it's even all the way around the room. It doesn't really matter what the height is. So what I've done, I've set the laser up, and you see in this corner here, that's the highest point in the room. That laser then goes back to the unit itself, which I've just got sat on the floor. And so we follow it round, and you can see at this end it's about, in the middle there, it's almost a full brick depth lower, so that's 20 centimeters. So this whole floor is going to be built up with rubble to bring it up to close to that height. So it doesn't have to be exact, but if we get it up closer, it means we've got less cement to put on top. This is the highest point in the room. So what we're going to do is we'll take just a piece of wood, just doesn't have to be anything special, and we'll mark it on the floor, and we'll just put a mark where the laser is. We're only after a rough approximation here, just to get the floor filled up, ready to have cement put on top. If we go around the room and put the wood on the floor, wherever the level is lower, the laser will show as being above that line. If I just move, say, to here, you can see that that is now about an inch lower. So yeah, it's dead easy then to just go around the room, different places, we get different heights. You'll see that's 4 inches, 3, we'll do about 1, because we're going to put about 3 inches of cement over the top. So we just need to bring all this sort of low area up to the same sort of height. Now that's 6 inches. I've already put some stuff in here, it was even lower. Quite a lot to build up here, but that's a good use for the laser. Right, we've still mixed up some cement, but what we've done, we've set the laser level up, and we've got a line going around the room. And what I've made is just a measuring device. And all this is a piece of straight wood with a flat bit on the bottom, and I've marked off the height of the laser compared to the height we actually want. So when you put the concrete down, you tamp it down with this until the green line hits the black line, and that we know we've roughly level. That'll be good enough because we're going to be putting a self-leveling compound on top after that as well. But this is all we're doing. Right, I'll go get this next load. I'll put that on there. I don't know if you can see it. I can see it. The green laser is here. I need to be there. So let's get a spade. Thought a rake would be better. So nice. Okay, alright, that's that first section level. We're going to mix up a bit more, and what we'll do, we'll work our way into the room. I'm happy with that. That's 3 loads. We're going to let that go off, and then we'll come back tomorrow, day after, put another 2 or 3 loads in, and just keep building it up like that. This is only going to be storage and like a automotive setup. So I bought me car tools in here and things like that. Maybe the chipper or, you know, that type of thing. We set up the laser, and it's just hung on a hook on the wall. So it just hooks on like that, and then that's the same height. We can take it off, put it back on, it's always the same height. Okay, so that's 5 mixers put down on the floor. We've got, what we're using is what's called an M10 concrete mix, which is 1 part cement, 3 parts sand, 6 parts aggregate stone. This gives you 10 Newton meters per square millimeter, which is roughly the same as about half a ton of pressure per square foot. This is more than enough for a floor, for a workshop or a storage area. It wouldn't be enough if you were driving on it or something like that, but for likes of a shed base or a heavy trafficked footpath, yeah, more than strong enough. Really is more than strong enough. On another point, I'm not putting any reinforcing mesh in because there's just no need. Once you get above about 3 or 4 inches of concrete, unless it's free floating, like there's no support underneath, then there's no need to reinforce it. Yes, you may get a couple of cracks, but they're just cracks from the way the concrete cures. It doesn't need the strength of the rebar in that thickness of concrete. Yeah, it's knackering. I'll give you, doing it with a mixer just by yourself. So I'm making up, 15 litre buckets. So it's 3 buckets of stone, 1.5 buckets of sand, and I'm actually using about 3/4 of a bucket of cement, probably slightly over the amount of cement, but I'd rather have a bit too much than not enough. Cement's cheap, you know. I don't want to put any more down because when it's wet, I'm not using any form work, I'm just doing it like a wet edge. When it's wet, it can slump a bit. So if you put too much in, it'll just sort of level out and lose the height. As regards the height, I'm using the measuring stick here. That's that. I showed you it before. Just marked off where the laser hits it. So as long as I tamp it down so the line hits roughly there, not too worried because, like I said, I'm putting a self-leveling compound on top of this anyway, so that will even out any differences, and it'll also get rid of any cracks as well if any do appear. But so I'm not worried about the surface texture. I'm not floating it off or anything like that. Just doing it rough, and then I'll pour a self-leveling compound on top. And that should do. I'll go and have a cup of tea, something to eat, and we'll probably do a bit more of this afternoon once this section has had a bit of a chance to set off. And don't forget, clean your tools. Even though I might be using them later, still clean them down, because if something happens and you don't, you're knackered. And it's easier to clean when everything's wet anyway. So, the likes of this, just quick spray with a hose, and same with the cement mixer and the barrow and the shovels. And now that's the deepest section, and that's taken a full load just to do that little corner, and it's not even brought it all up to height. Leave that, let that set, and then I'll do another couple of loads tomorrow, and I'll fill the gaps in with that. Now that's about a third of the floor done, I'd say. So we're making progress, slow but sure.
Hola! Hello everyone! Happy New Year! Feliz Ano Novo, I think it is in Portuguese, but not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But hello, it's good to be back. I arrived on Monday evening, it's Wednesday now, but I had a lovely time seeing friends and family in the UK. It was really nice. But on Sunday, it snowed. It snowed a lot. It was beautiful from inside the house. It's always lovely outside on the window. As a consequence, a lot of flights were cancelled and delayed on the Sunday at Manchester. So I was a little bit nervous about flying on Monday, whether I would actually get home. It was still snowing on the Monday morning early. My daughter took me down to the airport. It was still dark and snowy, and so I got there early. And my flight was delayed by an hour at that point. So I thought that's not too bad. So we're just waiting around. We finally got boarded about an hour and a half later than my schedule. But as a consequence, we'd lost our slot on the runway, so we were sat in the plane for another hour or 45 minutes, I think it was. And then we finally got off the ground. But I'm so grateful because them poor people on Sunday that got their flights cancelled, it must have been awful. So yeah, I got back, but as we're coming into Lisbon, it was a lovely view of Lisbon, and the pilot touched down on the runway for like a second and then come back up. And I was like, oh, what's going on? It was terrible, looking at each other like, what's the matter? So he said over the tannoy that it wasn't safe to land. So I was like, that's never happened to me before. I was a bit scared to begin with. But yeah, so we did another circuit of Lisbon, which was nice. Got a 20-minute extra view of Lisbon from the air, and then we finally come down. Got through, by the time I got through to passport control, it was like 4 in the afternoon, and then it's 2 hours back to our house here. So we got in like 6, and I was absolutely done in, absolutely wrecked, because I'd been up since about 5:30, and I've just been sat around the airport and sat on a plane for that long. So I was so glad to get home. So it's lovely to be back. I miss the old fella. Really did miss Brian. He's been really busy while I've been away. But to be honest, I think he's been left to his own devices for far too long. Because he's been using my kitchen as a workshop. Not happy about that. I know that he's done a mad clean-up before I've come home. But he only does the middle of stuff, so like round the edges. There's all sawdust around the edges. So I'm like, I've got to do it properly anyway. But he did make an effort. And I don't know how he gets splashes all over the cupboards when he's doing cups of tea and dinners and stuff. Literally, my cupboard doors look like a Jackson Pollock painting. It was just like splashes everywhere. So yeah, he's been on his own far too long. He's gonna be back in line now. Back to routine. No more using this as a workshop, thank you very much. But now that I am home, I think it's going to take me a while to get going again, because I feel a bit sluggish. It's probably because I've been sat on my bum eating stuff all like 2 weeks, but it's taken me a while to get going. And plus, I wanted to show you what my daughter bought me for Christmas, because I was sat, cups of tea, lovely cups of tea, eating chocolates and doing crochet. Now she's taught me how to crochet because I didn't know, and also I was having trouble because of my arthritis and I can't make a fist properly. They don't close properly. I was having trouble keeping hold of the crochet hooks, so I've really wanted to do it for a long time. So she bought me some multicoloured crochet hooks, and as you can see, look how tiny that is, and I can't hold it for long, it comes out of my hand. But that's where these come in. And what these do, they go in there like that. Actually, that's a bit hot. There's different size holes in them. Find a smaller one. So actually, that one's quite small. So what it means is it goes in there like that. I'm going to push it out. And it means that I can hold on to my crochet hook. And I can start crocheting now without dropping it. So I had loads of fun. Plus, I have trouble with tension as well because I can't hold the wool. That's the only finger that goes down. The other ones don't meet my palm, so I've got this little thing for the tension, and it goes on my finger like that. So I put it in between my knobbly knuckles, and the wool goes through this little pussycat here and trails down, and it gives me the tension I need as well. So I had a really good time, and I made this. Look at him. I made a little jellyfish. And this is Jaffa. So you can probably go in the oranges and disguised in the oranges. So yeah, it's little Jaffa. So I had a good time. It's a little bit rough around the edges. It's not really even. But I thought I'll have a little go again and do another one and see if I can get it a little bit neater. But he's cute. So yeah, I had a really lovely time seeing my girls and my mum and dad as well. It was lovely. But back home now. Yeah, so it's going to take me a while to get back into routine. Yesterday, Tuesday, I still felt tired from the travelling yesterday, the day before on the Monday. It's amazing how much it takes it out of you when I just sort of had an easy morning, and then we had Portuguese classes in the afternoon, and that was really difficult because my brain's gone to mush. Can't remember a thing. And Martha decided to give us a bit of a test as well, so I just had no chance. I did the best I could, but I didn't remember a great deal. So hopefully I'll just get back in the swing of things in time. Tonight I'm going to yoga. I started yoga a couple of weeks ago. I'm stiff as a board. My back's killing me, I'm so stiff, and my hands are killing me. I'm hoping that the stretches tonight will really help. I'm going to meet a couple of friends and have a stretch. I have trouble stretching over my belly, but you know, what can you do? If we'd stop doing stuff because of my belly, you know, I wouldn't do a thing, you know, so I'd stretch as much as I can. My legs are quite flexible, but the rest of me, my back and everything, it's difficult. But it's really good, I really enjoy it. But to be honest, the best bit is lying down at the end. Just lying down and just like, just nice and relaxed. So yeah, I'm going back to that tomorrow. And then Thursday, I'm going to go and see the dogs. I miss the dogs, we've had loads of adoptions. And there's lots of new dogs I'm going to get to know as well, so I'm looking forward to that. So I think it'll take me a bit of a while just to get back into the routine. Can't wait to show this to my crafternoon ladies, especially little Jaffa. So I'm looking forward to that. The weather's a bit different here now I've got back. I've missed all the bright and crisp weather this week. Come back and it's been chopping it down. Just been raining all day today. But my arthritis is really troubling me as well. It's very damp, and I don't know whether it's the cold or the damp or the combination. I mean, I don't know what you find, anybody with arthritis, whether you find that the same, but the humidity here is something that I didn't bank on. I didn't realise. So, I mean, the humidity we've been having, I don't know whether you can hear it in the background, I should have turned it off actually. We've got a dehumidifier in the kitchen past couple of days because the humidity's been about 90%, you know, and we can't get it any lower. I think it's got to about 78 with the dehumidifier on. So that's something that's really strange about Portugal. It's because it's not that cold today, but it's raining and it's very, very damp, so things are starting to get wet here, so I'll have to have a little bit of think about that. We'll probably have to get dehumidifiers for most of the rooms, or look into a solution for that. But I'm glad we brought our dryer from the UK, because I wouldn't be able to dry any clothes in the house or outside at the moment. So yeah, so it's a bit of a changeable. So I'm struggling a little bit with my hands, a bit achy. I mean, in the UK they were aching a bit, they were stiff, but they're aching a bit today. But I'm hoping by the weekend, it says it's going to brighten up. So I hope that's going to be okay, and I can get back to normal, and I can start demolition. I can start smashing things up again and bringing ceilings down. So hopefully I'll be back to normal. I'll be back to doing all my nice jobs, and you'll be able to see me next week doing that. But today I'm just going to take it easy and just get settled home. But it's lovely to be back, and I'll see you next week.
We're about halfway across the room. The worst of it is done. There's still some thick bits to do, but the heaviest bit's been done. That's 11 loads we've done. I reckon it's another 9 to 11 loads to do. Maybe a bit less, might be 8. 4 loads of this is enough for me on my own. I have had offers of help, and thank you very much, Tony. But I like to do stuff when I feel like doing it. So I'll get up and I go, right, I'll go and do that today. And that makes it a bit awkward when you're trying to arrange help with someone else. It would have been handy. Probably could have got it done in 2 days, maybe even 1. got some cats having a fight out there. Anyway, okay, that's the base concrete laid. The floor is level to within about 10 mil high. Whether it's the best way to do it or not, I'm not sure. This is the way I've done it, so we'll see if it works. We're not going to kill ourselves over this. It's bad enough having to make up 19 mixes of cement and carting it all in by bucket. I'd have brought it in with the wheelbarrow, but there's quite a big step as you come in. I had visions of concrete going everywhere, so I just stopped it at the door and then shoveled it into buckets. Like I said, we'll give this about a week to 2 weeks to go off, and then we'll put a leveling compound on top.